You might remember at the beginning of my gig, I can't play Let Her Go yet, otherwise that's my only hit single. I can't play a fourth, everyone would just leave. I promise you I'll play it though, I promise you I will. But before Let Her Go,
Let her go, man.
I said at the beginning of the gig that there's just going to be a couple of moments, Plymouth. If that's okay, I'm going to ask you guys to be really, really quiet. And that includes you lot, if that's alright. Yeah. But the reason I ask for a bit of quiet with this song is because it comes with a story, and without the story, it doesn't really make any sense. So if it's okay just for 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to get as quiet as possible. So I've paid several people in the crowd to go shh. There's a lot of money.
Too big.
Right. So the story is, I started smoking cigarettes when I was about 2.5 years old. No, I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't laugh at that joke. When I was about 15, and I started smoking like most kids start smoking because they want to look cool and they want to hang out with the cool kids. And I started smoking, and I hated the first 300 fags, and I choked them down. And after I smoked a few hundred, I realised actually the cool kids still don't really want to hang out with me, which was a bit of a blow. But by that time, I was really quite addicted to smoking because it's quite Moorish, and I couldn't stop. And I spent the last 15 years smoking a lot. And over the last couple of years, I've been trying really, really desperately hard to give up. And for those of you who smoke or have smoked, you'll know that it's a difficult thing to do. And the same thing kept on happening. I'd give up for 2 or 3 months, and everything would be going well. I'd start running in the morning, and I started eating salad, which isn't actually as shit as it sounds. And someone just cheered for salad. I like that, man. And Plymouth, for a very small amount of time, I even did a bit of yoga, which that isn't yoga. I don't know what that was, but you get the picture. I was trying to be healthy. I was trying to be positive and look after myself. Every time after 2 or 3 months, I'd see somebody lighting up a cigarette, and it would look really delicious, and I'd want one, and I'd go home and I'd battle with myself in my head about smoking and not smoking, and in the end I would buy a box of cigarettes and smoke them all in a row, watching Countdown, crying in the bath, and I haven't got a bath, so let alone a TV in the bathroom. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying though, and anyway, I'd smoke for a bit, and I'd stop for a bit, and I'd smoke for a bit. It was so fucking boring, and I was going through one of these times in America last year, and I went to bed in Minneapolis, and I went to bed thinking about cigarettes, so much so that I had a dream about massive dancing cigarettes. Which is pretty pathetic. And I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, this is just ridiculous, I'm just going to go and buy some. So I got up and I got dressed, and I walked to the nearest gas station, which was about 1.5 miles away. And because it was 3 o'clock in the morning, there was no one around. I didn't see a single person on this walk to the gas station. But when I got there was this one man, there was this one older man, and he was on a motorbike. He had a big grey beard, and he was smoking. And he looked really cool. And I walked past him, and he said the strangest thing. He said, "This is the best cigarette I've ever had in my life." Well, dude, thanks, mate. He said, "This is the best cigarette I've ever had in my life." And it was a pretty weird thing for him to say. All I could think about was smoking, and this is a complete stranger in the middle of the night in a city I've never been to before. And so I went over to him and I had a conversation with him for 10 minutes, and it totally changed my life. He just found out he had lung cancer and he was dying, and he decided to buy this motorbike and ride it from the west coast to the east coast of the States and live out the rest of his days with his kids and his grandkids in New York. And for the first time, I actually understood it for what it was, and it put it into perspective for me. And I said thank you to this guy, and I didn't buy cigarettes that night, and I haven't really smoked since. And I wrote this song a few weeks after his I'd love to dedicate it to him and also to anybody who's been touched by that terrible